Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the most auspicious event of Srila Prabhupada's, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's Sri Vyāsa-pūjā. And Sri Vyāsa-pūjā is the heartfelt, but also traditional method of honoring Srila Vyasadeva by honoring his representative, who carries Srila Vyasadeva, who is the literary incarnation of the Lord, whom Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Maya Mugdha Jivara Nahi Sota Krishna Gyan, Jivara Kripaya Koi Krishna Veda Puran. That without the intervention of Srila Vyasadeva through his revelations in literature, then there's no break in the ignorance of the jiva. Maya Mugna Jivara Nahi. Swata, because it's not automatic. There has to be someone who intervenes. And so the representative of the Supreme Lord then, through disciplic succession, represents Srila Vyasadeva and carries the message so that a modern audience can take advantage. And this is the greatest boon for all living entities in the world. Otherwise, they're left to wallow in ignorance. So we'll begin by singing Oh Hey Vaishnava Thākura, and we'll have some discussion on it. And so we'll start in that way. And now we'll take a few comments from Satyadev Prabhu and discuss any of the aspects of this song written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thākura, helping us to come into the mood of Sri Vyāsa-pūjā.
Yeah, I like what you said, that you quoted Lord Chaitanya. What was the verse again? I used to know it.
Maya Mugdha Jivara Nahi Swata Krishna Gyan Jivara Kripaya Koila Krishna Veda Puran.
Krishna Veda Puran, yeah. Mahaguna and I were driving down here this morning, and it just happened. Prabhupada's appearance day is the first day I met Srila Prabhupada. And Mahaguna was also there, but we were also new. She was so new she doesn't remember anything. But I do remember that. And then we asked ourselves the question, what would our life be like right now if somehow or other we hadn't met Srila Prabhupada? You know, what kind of timeline, or what would have happened in our life if that had not occurred? And so that's what I was thinking about when you mentioned that. So this verse is describing, the changes that occur in our life when we meet a pure Vaishnava, and we get the idea of devotion to God, devotion to Krishna. Somehow, because the Vaishnava is in love with Krishna and has that awakening, there can be an impression left upon us that can change the course of our lifetime. So that's what I was thinking about when we were reading this prayer.
I was, in continuing that thought, thinking of how we had discussed last night, when there's an awakening of faith, adau shara tata sangha, there's a yearning for the association of devotees. As Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur says, when you have this sense that I should be a devotee, or I like Krishna consciousness, then you want to find the embodiment of that. And we gravitate towards the Vaishnava and want to be, and as it's mentioned in the, if you can scroll up, the first two, translation. Alone I do not find the strength to chant the holy name. Please bless me please being merciful and bless me with a drop of faith. It's just that when we realize that it's the goal of life to see Krishna, and it's a great treasure, we also gravitate towards the representative of Krishna. Other feelings, thoughts about the bhajan or Vyāsa-pūjā itself?
My reflections were very much like Satyadev Prabhu's. I don't know where I would have been if Prabhupada wouldn't have come into my life. I also like verse number 4 where it says, Krishna is yours. Krishna is yours and you can give him to me, for such is your power. So that's again connected back to the faith in the spiritual master that he will deliver us. So.
Thank you, Shraddha. You had some experience where you came in contact with one of Prabhupada's books, I think.
Yeah, it was a book led by Raseshwari Mataji. She was trying to explore Foster City, whether the Indian store there would accept the smart box. And so she had left one Bhagavad Gita there. And I had gone there to do grocery shopping, and I was signing the credit card bill. And from the peripheral vision, I saw there was a Bhagavad Gita, erect kept there. And I took it, and it was just within a span of 1 week. I read it voraciously. And within the span of 1 week, I left some of the vices, like no meat eating, completely. And then slowly, onion, garlic, where they went, I have no idea. And then I, started chanting and started coming to the temple, made it formal, took initiation and like that. So, I always wondered that how Prabhupada is beyond this world where we live, but still he's influencing us so much. And especially when I see the young people, I could still relate because when Prabhupada was walking this planet, I was there. So I was 18 when he left the planet. But when I look at these youngsters, I'm just amazed at how Prabhupada is influencing generations after generations after generations of the power. So that's why, it said, Krishna is yours and you have the power to give him to me.
Prabhupada, yes, Radhakripa Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. When I was reading that Krishna is you can only give it to me, I just feel like Krishna, you cannot get from the books, or you can get from Amazon, or you can go to Google and search and find Krishna. So the one who has it, he can only give it. And it's so simple, but, it just makes me feel like we should be fixated in understanding that who has Krishna. If you're really looking for Krishna, you have to find a person who has the Krishna, and he can only give. And he can give, it gives me also a hope that even I'm totally unqualified, but he wishes so, then he can give it to me. So I feel like so blessed that we are here, and Prabhupada is, passing that Krishna through the disciple chain. So hopefully one day we might. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Go ahead, Arjuna.
Reflecting on the general mood of this song, I was thinking about the analogy you gave yesterday, which was that acharyas give us a boat with which we can cross the material ocean. And what I really liked about that analogy was that you said that not only do they provide this boat, they leave it behind for us. And so I was just reflecting on how much shelter we have and how grateful we should be to these acharyas.
There's a story in the Chaitanya Bhagavat about a devotee named Gangadas, and he had been with his family and had to pass through a part of town where people were inimical towards Vaishnavas, and it appeared that he was being pursued, and he came to the Ganga and needed to cross in order to get to safety. And he was contemplating that maybe it's better to drown ourselves than to be accosted, molested here in this lonely spot. If anybody's ever been in a situation like that, it's quite disturbing, where you realize there's no help for me physically or in any direction, nobody to call to. And just as he was in that mood, a boatman came, and Gangadas said, please, I'll give you rupees, please just take us across. And they jumped in the boat and went to safety. Later, when Mahaprabhu was performing as Mahaprakash, revealing himself as Bhagavan to the devotees at Srivas Pandit's house, he was calling various devotees into his presence and revealing to him that he had intervened in their lives. And to Gangadas, he had recounted this story. He said, you were there in a lonely place, you were about to be molested by dacoits, and I came there on a boat, and I took you across the Ganga, but actually not just the Ganga, across the whole ocean of birth and death. So when you brought up that point from the verse we read yesterday, demigods praying to Lord Krishna in the womb, I was thinking of how we may think it's an ordinary example, but if we think of how dire it is when we want to cross to get to safety and come away from the great danger of the material world, padam padam yad vipadam, then it becomes much more relevant that someone comes with a boat. And connecting what Shraddha was saying about how the boat is still here, how she's amazed to see it's not just somebody who met Prabhupada in 1965 or in the days that he was walking the planet, but he left such a sturdy boat behind, as is the duty of the Acharya, that even now anyone can get into that boat. Not that the boat won't rock, and some waves can splash over the edge. Prabhupada also mentioned that as we're riding in the boat, even if it's a little rocky, just don't get off the boat and stay the course. That it becomes this urgent need, and we can really appreciate how Prabhupada had so handily done that and so comprehensively created the process, and then amazingly spread it all over the world, making it available not just to a few people, but his vision was that everyone should have the opportunity in every country, every continent. Any other thoughts? Where did Madhuri Saki go? Okay, go ahead. See, I can read minds.
Something I was reflecting on when reading it was the verse Ekaki Amar Nahi Payaba, the alone. And I was just thinking back, this summer I did a little bit of traveling, and I think this summer I really realized that Prabhupada's big family is ISKCON, and that we have association everywhere, so that we're never alone, and that we can gain the strength to do devotional service with their association.
Yeah, even now, if you travel somewhere, you can become weary. Travel makes one weary oftentimes, but as soon as you reach a place where there's devotees who are following the Acharya, same mood, same mindset and devotion, then we immediately feel protected, that we're back in safety.